You've been paying bills that were covered, skipping money that was yours, and trusting a DUI system that never bothered to explain itself. Every single year. 36 free services most DUI Americans never touch. Once you see what they are, the silence around them stops feeling accidental. 1. There's a filing cabinet somewhere in your state with your name on it. Literally. Every forgotten paycheck, every insurance payout nobody claimed, every security deposit a landlord never returned. By law, it doesn't disappear. It gets handed to the state, and the B2 state has to hold on to it. Right now, that pile is worth over $70 billion nationwide. 1 in 10 pile Americans has a folder in it. The site that searches all 50 states at once takes 30 seconds to use and is named as missingmoney.com. Most people will spend longer deciding what to watch tonight than it takes to find out if they're one of them. 2. Everyone checks their credit score obsessively. Almost nobody reads the actual report behind it. That's the part with your open accounts, your payment history, the loan you never took out that somehow shows up anyway. Federal law entitles you to pull all 3. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, every single week, for free, from one government-backed site. Most people find out about identity theft from a rejected mortgage application months after a stranger already used their name. The tool that could have caught it earlier was sitting there the entire time, unused. 3. Every spring, roughly half the country pays someone else to do a form the government will do for free. It's called VITA. IRS-trained volunteers, real humans, filing your taxes at no charge if you make under $69,000 a year. No upsells, no premium tier, no fee pulled out of your refund. The tax prep industry has spent decades making sure this stays quiet, because a free option next to a $200 one is bad for business. The IRS built it anyway. It's just never been the thing anyone advertises. 4. Somewhere, a telemarketer is dialing a number that's been illegal to call for years. The Do Not Call registry doesn't expire, doesn't cost anything, and takes about 30 seconds to join. After which, by law, most sales calls to your number have to stop within a month. Over 222 million numbers are already on it. Millions more aren't, mostly because people assume nothing this simple could actually work. It won't stop scammers ignoring the law entirely, but the legitimate calls, the ones that are supposed to follow the rules, mostly do. 5. There's a decent chance the car in your driveway has an unfixed safety recall on it right now, and you'd never know unless you went looking. Type your VIN into nhtis.gov, and it pulls every open recall tied to that exact vehicle. If something shows up, the dealer is legally required to fix it for free, no matter how old the car is, no matter who you bought it from. Millions of cars on American roads have parts flagged as unsafe, sitting unrepaired, because the only warning system is a website nobody checks until something goes wrong. 6. Somewhere in a 4th grade classroom, there's a pass sitting unused that would get an entire family into every national park in the country for a year. Every kid outdoors covers up to 3 adults, and every kid under 16, across all 2,000+ federal lands and waters. It's free. It requires nothing but a 4th grader in the house and about 5 minutes online. The Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, the Everglades, all included, all already paid for by taxes. Most families never hear about it until the kid's already in 5th grade. 7. People order cardboard boxes online and pay for them. Meanwhile, the post office will mail priority envelopes, padded mailers, and flat-rate boxes directly to your door. Free, no cost until you actually ship something. It's not a promotion, it's not limited time. It's just been peep sitting on USPS.com this whole time while people quietly buy shipping supplies from Amazon like it's the only option. The box shows up at your house before you've spent a single dollar. 8. An EBT card looks like it only does one thing: buy groceries. It also gets a family of 4 into a natural history museum, a zoo, or a science center for $1 or less, at over 1,600 locations nationwide. It's called Museums for All, and most SNAP recipients have never heard the phrase. The same card sitting in a wallet for grocery runs could be getting kids through a dinosaur exhibit this weekend, and almost nobody swipes it for that. 9. There's a phone number that works like 911, except it's for the version of a crisis that isn't an emergency room visit. The rent that's late, the fridge that's empty, the utility bill you can't cover this month. Dial 211 and a real person answers, 24 hours a day, and routes you to food assistance, housing help, childcare, job training. Run by United Way, funded and free. Over 45,000 referrals happen through it every single day, and most people have never boarded them. 10. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the country, and it's completely invisible. No smell, no color, no warning until it's already been in your lungs for years. The EPA offers test kits through local health departments, often for free, and setting one up takes about 5 minutes. Most American homes have never been tested for it. Not because it's hard, but because nobody thinks to ask about a threat they can't see, smell, or feel until the diagnosis shows up decades later. 11. A fire department would rather spend 10 minutes screwing a smoke detector into your kitchen's ceiling than 2 hours fighting a fire that detector could have prevented. Many local pink departments will come install one for free, batteries included, no appointment necessary. Well, somebody should just have to call and ask. It's one of the simplest transactions in the entire list. A phone call, 10 minutes, and a device that statistically doubles your odds of surviving a house fire at night. Most homes with dead detectors just never made the call. 12. A library card used to mean books. Now it quietly unlocks free audiobooks and movies. Through apps like Libby and Hoopla, plus, depending on the branch, Wi-Fi hotspots, laptops, power tools, even fishing rods you can check out like a novel. It's all already paid for through local taxes. Somewhere, someone is paying $15 a month for an audiobook subscription, while their library card, sitting unused in a drawer, offers the same thing for free. 13. There's a federal program that knocks 9.25 cents off a phone or internet bill every month, and in a lot of cases gives out a free smartphone entirely, talk, text, and data included. If someone already qualifies for Medicaid or SNAP, they almost certainly qualify for this too. The application is the only step standing between them and a phone bill that's smaller or non-existent. Nobody applies on their behalf. It just sits there, waiting for someone to fill out one form. 14. Freezing your credit file is the financial equivalent of locking your front door. Except most people never do it, even though it's completely free by federal law across all 3 bureaus. 10 minutes online and nobody can open a new account in your name, not a credit card, not a loan, nothing, until you personally unlock it. Identity thieves count on this step being skipped. It usually is. The lock has been free this whole time. Almost nobody's used it. 15. Somewhere tonight, a person is cutting a pill in half to make a prescription last longer, unaware that the company that manufactures it will simply give it to them for free. Almost every major pharmaceutical company runs a patient assistance program, and sites like Needy Meds let you check eligibility by medication name in minutes. Not a discount, not a coupon. The full prescription, at no cost, from the same company selling it at full price to everyone who didn't know to ask. 16. Every winter, someone chooses between the heating bill and something else. Every summer, someone rides out a heat wave without air conditioning because turning it on feels too expensive. LIHAP exists specifically to cover part or all of that bill for people who qualify. And every single year, millions of dollars in this exact funding goes unclaimed because people assume they make too much or don't know the program exists at all. The money is allocated. It's just sitting there, waiting on an application nobody filed. 17. The government will send someone to your house, seal your windows, upgrade your and fix your heating system. And if you qualify, the entire thing costs nothing. It's not a loan, not a rebate you apply for later. Households that go through it save hundreds annually on energy bills afterward. It's one of the rare instances where the government literally improves your house for free, and the number of people who've never heard of it is staggering. 18. Nearly 1 in 3 infants born in America last year had a BS-covered birth. The program provides free food, nutrition counseling, and health referrals to pregnant women, new mothers, and children under 5. And despite covering 41% of all infants, millions of eligible families still aren't enrolled. It was built for exactly this situation: a new baby, a tight budget, and a system that's supposed to catch people right when they need it most, if they know to reach for it. 19. Long before school readiness became a buzzword, Head Start was already doing it. Free preschool for low-income families, but also dental checkups, health screenings, meals, and family counseling folded into one program. Nearly 40 million children have gone through it since 1965, and right now, hundreds of thousands of eligible kids aren't enrolled. Not because their families don't qualify, but because nobody ever told them the program exists in their zip code. 20. In several states now, every single kid eats breakfast and lunch at school for free, not based on income, not based on an application, just automatically, because the state decided no child should eat lunch in debt. California, Maine, Colorado, Minnesota, and others have already made this permanent. And there are still parents in those states packing lunches or loading cafeteria accounts with money they never needed to spend because the policy changed and nobody told them. 21 Somewhere between 46% and 80% of car seats in America are installed wrong. That's not an internet estimate. That's the federal government's own number. What almost nobody knows is that local fire and police departments will inspect and reinstall that same car seat correctly for free, usually in about 10 minutes, no appointment required. The gap between installed and installed safely is enormous, and closing it costs exactly nothing if you know where to walk in. 22A gym membership is sitting inside a lot of Medicare Advantage plans, completely unused because nobody mentioned it. Silver Sneakers gives seniors free access to over 14,000 fitness locations nationwide, plus online classes, folded into plans people are already paying for. It's not an add-on purchase, it's already included. Somewhere, someone canceled a paid membership out of financial caution, while an identical one sat free in their benefits package the entire time. 23 Medicare covers cancer screenings, flu shots, cardiovascular tests, depression screenings, and annual wellness visits, all with zero copay, zero deductible. Most seniors skip them anyway, not because they can't afford them, but because nobody, not even their own doctor, mentioned they were free. A cancer screening that costs nothing gets skipped for the same reason a coupon expires unused. Nobody said the magic words, "This is already covered." 24 over $4 billion in Pell Grant money went unclaimed last year. Not loans. Money that never has to be repaid, tied to a form that's also free to file. Hundreds of thousands of eligible students skip the FAFSA every year because they assume it's a loan application, or assume they won't qualify, and never find out otherwise. The money doesn't roll over to them personally. It just goes back into a pool, waiting for the next person who also won't apply. 25. There are over 17,000 clinics in this country that charge based on what you can actually afford. No insurance required, no citizenship required, just a sliding scale that can drop to zero. Medical, dental, mental health, prescriptions, all under one roof. Somebody delays a doctor's visit for months, assuming it'll cost hundreds, while a clinic that would have charged them nothing sits 15 minutes from their house, completely unadvertised. 26. There's a single tool, built and funded by the federal government, that takes your age, income, and situation, and spits out every program you might qualify for. Housing, food, healthcare, veterans benefits, disaster relief, all of it, cross-referenced in one place. It's free, it's official, and it's been sitting on USA.gov the entire time. Most people go searching program by program, guessing what might apply to them, never realizing the government already built the search engine for exactly that question. 92%. That's the share of serious civil legal problems low-income Americans face. Evictions, custody battles, domestic violence cases, where they get zero help or not nearly enough. Meanwhile, the Legal Services Corporation runs over 900 free legal aid offices across every state and territory, fully funded and ready. The help exists. The gap isn't funding running out. It's that the number for the nearest office is one most people in crisis never think to look up. 28 3 digits. Available every hour of every day. Connect anyone to a trained crisis counselor by call, text, or chat. Free, confidential, no strings. It's the same idea as 911, except for the moments 911 was never built for. Millions of contacts happen through it every year, routed through over 200 local centers. The number is short enough to remember under pressure, and that's exactly the point. It's built for the moment someone can't think straight enough to search for anything longer. 29 over 300 locations across the country offer free mental health counseling to combat veterans and their families. No VA enrollment, no copay, no paperwork maze standing between someone and a conversation with a person who's actually been there. You just walk in, and somehow, despite 300 locations nationwide, most veterans have never heard the term vet center in their life, let alone known one existed near them. 30. It looks like a food delivery program. It's really a wellness check disguised as one. Meals on Wheels delivers over 240 million meals a year to more than 2 million seniors. But the volunteers do more than drop off food. They notice the things a phone call can't catch. A fall risk, a confused answer, a house that's gotten too quiet. 91% of recipients say it's the reason they can still live independently. For some, it's the only face they see all day. 31 Once a month, a box shows up. Cereal, canned meat, peanut butter, cheese, pasta, beans. A full grocery run, delivered, free, for seniors over 60 who qualify. It's run through the USDA and distributed through networks like Feeding America, serving over 500,000 Tapia seniors a year. It's not a food bank line or a one-time handout. It's scheduled, recurring, and deities off 50 states, mostly unnoticed by anyone who isn't already enrolled in it. 32. The parks are already yours. Your taxes paid for them years before you ever visited one. A handful of days each year, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the start of National Park Week. Juneteenth. The entrance fee gets waived entirely, as if the government is quietly reminding you of something you'd forgotten you already own. 10 of those days exist this year alone. Most people find out about them the week after they've already passed. 33 somewhere, a retired executive who spent 30 years running real companies is sitting across from a first-time entrepreneur, mentoring them for free, one-on-one, no webinar, no course fee. It's called SCORE, backed by the Small Business Administration, and over 17 million entrepreneurs have used it since 1964. The going rate for that kind of experience, anywhere else, is hundreds of dollars an hour. Here, it's a phone call and a scheduled meeting. 34 for years. Filing taxes directly with the IRS for free wasn't really an option. Not because it was impossible, but because an entire industry lobbied hard to keep it that way. The government built direct file anyway. No third-party software, no upsell screens, no free version that isn't actually free once you hit a certain form. Just a taxpayer and the IRS, with the being there and the finally removed from a transaction that never needed one. 3521 museums, a zoo. Over 155 million artifacts and specimens. Zero admission fee on any of it. You can stand 3 feet from the actual Wright brothers plane and walk out without paying a cent. Because the Smithsonian decided decades ago that access to history shouldn't come with a price tag. It might be the single largest we already paid for this use it offer the federal government makes. And it's also one of the most visited. Proof that when people know something's free, they show up. 36. Every member of Congress has an office whose entire job is invisible to most people who'd benefit from it most. Cutting through federal bureaucracy on your behalf. A stuck passport, an ignored VA claim, a missing Social Security check, a stalled immigration case. Staff exist specifically to make agencies move faster when a regular phone call gets nowhere. It's free, it's immediate, and it works more often than people expect. The number has been in the phone book the whole time. Almost nobody's ever dialed it. If you know one we missed, put it in the comments. Someone watching this is in the exact situation that program was built for. And if you've already used one of these, say which one. That's worth more than anything I could add.